Jatropha coccus is often referred to as jatropha. It is the plant that produces seeds with high oil content. The seeds are toxic and in principle non-edible. It originates from Central America, Yucatan, Mexico, and was distributed by Portuguese seafarers and missionaries several decades ago. Jatropha is a small tree or shrub with smooth gray and fairly dominant green bark, which exudes whitish-colored, watery latex when cut. Jatropha grows under tropical and subtropical conditions and can withstand conditions of severe drought and low soil fertility. Because jatropha is capable of growing in marginal soil, it can also help to reclaim problematic lands and restore eroded areas. As it is not a food or forage crop, it plays an important role in deterring cattle and thereby protects other valuable food or cash crops. Jatropha coccasis, a species that has immense potential for producing jatropha oil, which has a wide usage and high economic importance for large-scale industrial use. Hence, it is truly a multi-purpose tree species used for planting in many parts of the tropical and subtropical parts of the world. Botanical description: Jatropha coccus has many local names, including Bagani, Ivory Coast, Physic North, English, Tabanani, Senegal, Mbono, Tanzania, Porgenot, Dutch, Sketnoto, Surinamese. In Nigeria, it is known as Lakbalakba and Yalode in Yoruba, Bindanzugu, Hausa, Chiogba, Igbo. In all cases, jatropha is a tall bush or small tree that can grow up to 6 meters tall. Its lifespan is in the range of 50 years. The tree is a deciduous wood type with leaves falling off under conditions of stress. Jatropha is a drought-resistant species which is widely cultivated in the tropics as a living fence. The seeds are toxic to humans and many animals. The production of seeds and processing into biofuel provide extra job opportunities. Jatropha biofuel can be used for both transport and electricity production and can give local communities energy and independence. Any excess biofuel that is produced can be sold. The oil can also be used for soap production, providing a profitable rural activity.
Jatropha coccus is a plant that is well known, especially in the subtropical and the tropical areas of the whole world. It's a common plant, especially in Nigeria too. It's known as Lakbalakba in the southwest of Nigeria. And it has various values depending on the environment where it is planted. Generally in Nigeria, it is known for its medicinal purpose, and it is being used as hedges to demarcate land boundaries too. But of recent, jatropha has become a phenomenon that is, it is seen as an alternative source of energy to produce biofuel. The oil is generally extracted from the seeds and is converted into biofuel. Generally, maintenance of jatropha, or cultivation rather, is simple. What I mean is that jatropha helps to plan the life of farmers and individuals that are concerned. It improves the economy, very easy to cultivate, and the maintenance is quite low compared to other cash crops like cocoa or oil palm, because it's a very sturdy and very hardy crop. The seeds has a very high oil content, ranging from 35% to about 50% oil content. And the plant matures very early. It starts fruiting at the age of about 10 months, and it continues to produce food maximally or profitably for the next 45 years, which to every farmer is a good venture. And besides being used for biofuel. The other residues like the cake can as well be used to produce organic fertilizer. It can be converted to biomass to generate electricity. And even the fruit cover can be converted to compost because it contains high percentage of NPK, which is the soil nutrient. The plant generally, like I've said earlier, has various uses, ranging from medicinal purpose to the commercial purpose in production of biofuel. And for any farmer or any investor that wants to go into jatropha plantation, it is advisable if he looks for the better hybrid, because we have various breeds of jatropha cockers depending on the environment. But once you put in mind that if you want to go into the farming, you have to look for a good hybrid that will give you the maximum yield in terms of seed production and in terms of oil yields.
Jatropha production should not only take place when there is sufficient land or local food production. Intercropping jatropha with food crops is also a good option. The extra investment in agriculture will increase food production as well. It is drought resistant. It has the ability to grow in poor quality, marginal and infertile soil. It requires little maintenance, especially after the initial establishment. Various parts of the plants are for medicinal value. Its bark contains tannin, the flowers attract bees, and thus the plant has honey production potential. Jatropha removes carbon from the atmosphere.
You are welcome to one of our nursery sites. This particular nursery site is in Ibadan here, specifically in Abala area of Ibadan. And the nursery or the seeds were sowed exactly 7 days ago. And as you can see, the seeds germinates very well. And we can see we are having about 60% germination now. By the time it gets to 10 days after sowing, we expect about 90 to 95% of it to have germinated. That shows that we have a very good percentage of germination. And you should bear in mind that before it can germinate, we need to supply water regularly and adequately. And if you look very closely, it is being watered every day. And we have a close by stream down there from where we supply water to the nursery. We don't supply water to the beds until late in the evening. When the evening comes, we normally do the wetting. And the wetting is properly done so that it will aid early germination of the seeds. By the time it reaches about 10 days now, the germination would have increased. Then we can say we have at least about 90 to 95% germination, which is still okay. Even in some cases, we can have up to about 98% germination, because we are propagating with hybrid, well-treated jatropha seeds, which we have soaked in water for about 14 hours with certain chemicals to treat the seeds so that microbes will not attract the seeds when they are in the soil. Because jatropha seed is an oil seed, so the tendency for microbes or some insects or some living things to attack the seed when they are sowed, and that will bring down the germination percentage. In an attempt to avoid that, that is why we have to soak in water mixed with certain chemicals that will protect the seeds.
When you harvest, you don't need to, the processing is not much. After harvesting, you remove the pericarp and you get out the seeds. The seeds are sun dry for maximum of 3 days, unlike as against that of cocoa that you have to sun dry for almost 1 week or 2 weeks. But only sun dry for about 2 weeks. After that, you can bag your seeds in readiness for this oil extraction. And the oil is very good It can be put into various use. You can use the oil, the crude oil directly to power your stove for domestic cooking. Even if you cannot go further to convert it to biodiesel, you can use directly. And the results have shown that you can even blend the crude jatropha oil with the normal fossil diesel, and it will perform excellently well without modification to your machine. Any vehicle that uses diesel, without modification to it. So you can see the various advantages that jatropha has. It is environmentally friendly. If you are burning jatropha, you don't stand the risk of this emission of carbon dioxide or sulfur dioxide, which is injurious to the environment, because it does not emit such gases. So that is why we say it is environmental friendly.
Oil cake is rich in nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, and can be used as organic manure. Oil can be used as fuel in pre-combustion chamber diesel engines and also as lubricant. Oil and sediment can be used for soap production. Seeds act as insecticides or pesticides. Produce fruits with high oil content with proper management.
This is the jatropha plant, and this is just the early stage of growth. This plant I am holding is about 6 weeks old now, and in about 3 or 4 weeks old, it should be ready for transplanting. Though it is planted in the pot, but the ones that are planted at the nursery are just like this. And once it is transplanted, it becomes mature within the next 10 months. After that, you start harvesting. And the first thing, after carrying out all other operations, and it fruits. This is this fruit from jatropha, and there it is matured, ready for processing. And the next thing we're going to do now is that we are going to remove the seeds from the fruits. Okay, and these are the seeds that are removed, jatropha seeds, clean and dried with very low moisture content. After this, we now go for decorticating. We decorticate, and this will remove the back of the seed so as to get very clean oil during extraction. Because if the back is not removed, the oil that will come out will be black in nature. But once you have decorticate and remove the back, you have removed the back, it looks like this, which is now ready for extraction. And when the seed are extracted, the oil is extracted, this is what it gets from this. This is the crude oil gotten from this, and we call it crude jatropha oil. From this, there are other things you can see get out of it, crude oil. You can see get out from it glycerin. When we want to further process it into biodiesel, and we use a method called esterification. And this is the biodiesel gotten from it. This biodiesel is 100% pure. It can be used by any vehicle or machine that is being powered with normal fossil diesel without modification to the machine. And after the extraction of the oil, this is what is left, and we call this the cake, the jatropha cake. This is it, the jatropha cake. The jatropha cake can be put into use in various ways. It can be converted into organic fertilizer, and this is the sample of the organic fertilizer. The organic fertilizer is very friendly to the soil. It doesn't leave any acidic residue into the soil after use, so it's very friendly to the soil. If it is not used for compost or for manure or for organic fertilizer, it can be the toxin inside can be removed, and the cake can be converted to fish feed. Again, the cake can be used to generate electricity too. This is what we use to increase the yield, and we call it jatropha booster. It's like the normal fertilizer we give to our plants in the farm, but this is foliar fertilizer for jatropha. It increases the yield, and improve the health of the plant at the plantation. Like I've said earlier, harvesting starts at maybe 10 months. And when do we normally even plant jatropha? We plant at the beginning of the rainy season. Jatropha needs a lot of sunlight because the production of the seeds is induced by heat. So you don't need much shade in your farm. So when you have cleared your farm, no need for maybe ridging or whatever. Just make sure your farm is clean. Then you transplant from your nursery to the site or to your plantation. There are various operations you really need to take now. You don't need to carry out in your farm. One of them is pruning. Very, very essential that you carry out pruning. When the plant gets to an average of 1 meter, I mean the height of the plant, you need to cut the trunk to a certain level so that more branches can shoot out from the main trunk. And the more branches we have, the more fruiting. Because jatropha will normally fruit at the apex of each branch. So the more branches you have, the more fruiting and the more yield you have. So pruning is very, very essential in jatropha plantation if you want to get the maximum yield.